the first to know in Nsem-Pii TV.
Among the 5 aspirants almost seeking NPP flag bearership positions, nipa baako a nkurɔfoɔ ndareti no yɛ Dr. Adutwum. Na wonim sɛ ɔyɛ former education minister. Na nneɛma bi a Haruna ɛdu so a ɔyɛ education minister now ɛyɛ ɛna ɔreka sɛ nneɛma bi te sɛ school placement system a phrase HS nkoraa na yɛde place wɔ mu. NPP wɔ hɔ. System a wɔn use yɛ perfect no, almost perfect no. Haruna ɛdu so baeɛ na ɔsɛ ɔmpɛ saa system no. Ɛna ɔcreate foforɔ. Ɛno na ama this year postings of students to various institutions no ayɛ problematic. Ɛna wɔka sɛ propaganda nti, NDC propaganda nti, so ɔbɛka sɛ NPP na ɛyɛɛyɛ na ɔtoa so nti ɛneɛ ɔno abɛyɛ ne deɛ. Afei ɔsɛ complaini sɛ ɔde category B schools bɛkɔ A ɛna ɔsɛ ɛdeɛn agorɔ ɛna Haruna adi no, because it doesn't make sense sɛ renaming a particular university institution ti ɛno bɛma wɔachieve results na ɔsɛ this is propaganda na biribiara nim. Yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔtie nkɔmmɔtwetwe a wɔne Paul Adomɔkyere atwetwe.
Problem. I have no idea. But the question is, Kofi Asare is right. And the question that he posed, he's right to pose that.
How about double track? That some people say you fested on us. This NDC said they will take it out.
Why haven't they taken it out?
They said they will take it out now, soon, very soon.
Let's wait and see. They say 120 days.
Is it impossible to take it out?
You see, the thing is, if you don't know what went into it, then you can make that decision and say, I'm going to take it out. You see, we did not do double track because of lack of space in schools. It was lack of space in desirable schools.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to post children against their will to some category C schools somewhere in the jungle,
no, Haruna is worried about why we are calling schools category A and B and C. He doesn't like that. He thinks that's what has created the problem.
What has created the problem? You see, the thing is this. I'll tell you one thing. I'm fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I came to this position with many years of experience in education, not just in Ghana, but in the United States of America. And I come here, I'm a classroom teacher for 10 years, school administrator for 12 years, come to Ghana, become a deputy minister for 4 years, and then become a minister. So I always say that I'm one of the most fortunate education ministers in the world, the depth of experience. So I enter into any space, I know exactly what to do, and we can fix it with the help of our people with expertise, Anamwa Mensa, people that we relied upon whenever we needed to have their brains on certain issues, Professor Aduma Samoa, a renowned engineer and former provost of School of Engineering of University of KNUST. So these are people who you put around you, and the areas where you think, okay, I need an input here, get input from them. So at the end of the day, I say to myself that it's difficult for me to compare myself with any other person. Maybe most education ministers in the world didn't have the kind of expertise that I brought to the education ministry. So it was easy for me to look at the curriculum, look at things and say, let's fix this. These are the gaps. If I can get people to help me think through how to bridge the gap, we'll bridge the gap. So when you talk about education in Ghana, you talk about category A schools, there's a history to it. You have students scoring at different levels. And to create a meritocratic system as to who goes to Achimota, you're going to be able to say, okay, for you to go to Achimota, you must have a certain aggregate. Because you cannot say that my famous school, Jache Pramso, is at par with Achimota. So who goes to Jache Pramso and who goes to Achimota? Especially in a situation where you don't have community schools. In other jurisdictions where there are community-based schools, you live close to Achimota, you go to Achimota. But when you have a boarding school system, somebody from the north, somebody from Ashanti can come to Achimota. Upon what basis do you select those students to come to Achimota? Or for that matter, go to Presec or in Fansipin? Upon what basis are you going to select them? Everybody wants to go there. So something has to be done so that it's as meritocratic as possible in terms of those who get to go to certain schools. And when we wanted to make sure that the schools are accepting students from across the country, there was a catchment policy, and then also did a public school enrollment policy, where certain students are able to get into Achimota, not with the same grade as students who went to private schools, who obviously do better than those who went to public schools. So the bottom line is this. If you want to get rid of category A school, what do you replace with it? What we should rather...
No, he said he's making category B schools to call them category, call everybody category A.
So what does that mean?
I'm not sure, but that's
if you say everybody's A,
appreciating.
If you say everybody's A, what do you mean?
So that parents don't feel that I've been given a school and C.
You think parents don't know Achimota?
They do.
They don't know Presec?
They do.
So if you don't call Presec category, what does that mean?
It means nothing. They still want to go to Presec.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that
you can call Presec category C. They don't care. It's Presec they want to go.
It's Presec they want to go.
They want to go to Adutwum.
So what we brought when I became education minister was to create affiliation. So you have to face the reality. The test scores on the WASI from Presec is forever going to be better than some schools. So you have to be proactive in terms of elevating those schools so that the parents will desire those schools. Let me give you an example. There's a school in my constituency, Bosomtwe Girls. 4-year-old school. And parents with students with aggregates 8 wants to go to Bosomtwe Girls. Why? Because we are affiliated with Wesley Girls in Cape Coast. Mrs. Jokoto, the former Wesley Girls headmistress, is the mentor of the headmistress, the teachers, and the students, paid for by MasterCard Foundation.
Oh, I see.
MasterCard Foundation hired her
for Bosomtwe Girls.
For a number of schools, including Bosomtwe.
To mentor all of those schools.
Yes.
So recently I saw somebody in 300
Ahantaman Girls, a number of schools. What does that mean? The goal is that these schools will begin to perform just like Wesley Girls. So if you look at the case of Bosomtwe Girls, the first graduating class, 3 of them went to medical school.
Never happened.
Yeah, 50 of them went to engineering schools across the country.
The other school that you developed in a similar way was the Nsem-Pii Girls School. Which now people want it.
Yes.
People are looking to be posted there. They don't want a Bree Girls, which is nearby, but they want Nsem-Pii.
Because there was a assistant headmistress from Wesley Girls who became the headmistress of Nsem-Pii Methodist.
I see.
Ahantaman Girls also get an assistant headmistress from Wesley Girls. Ahantaman Girls changes.
So it was a deliberate government policy to bring these schools up. So you give them science laboratories?
Yes. And then one of the things that we did, science laboratories, of course, Ahantaman Girls, if you look at the labs, you won't believe it, the kind of labs they have at Ahantaman Girls. So consequently, parents don't feel shortchanged if they are going to Ahantaman Girls. If you create more schools like that is why we began to look at NELI, National Education Leadership Institute. That was training school leaders from across the country. We selected assistant headmistresses and assistant headmasters from the top performing schools. We started training them to be posted to category C schools across the country so that they can go there and see those schools with the DNA of the high-performing schools where they have been assistant headmistresses. And then move those schools out, because we saw Haruna Nyakrum was a typical example. Assistant headmistress from Wesley Girls go there, the school moves into prominence. So it's no rocket science. If you want more category A schools, it's no rocket science. And that's the reason why a school like Abomosu, we selected an assistant headmaster from Presec, your school, and took that person to Abomosu. So that it will begin to have the Presec culture. We even went another step further.
I hope this policy is still working. Is it working?
I don't know. But
you don't know?
We even went...
in Parliament. You don't ask
we can call and ask him. But we even went a step further. And what we did was that all new schools that we are opening have to be affiliated with an existing high-performing school, and the assistant headmaster from a high-performing school is going to go there. If the school happens to be a mission school, what we're going to do subsequently was that we're going to give them chaplains. So it may not be a Presby school, it's a government school, but we want to do the same cultural practices that is done as Presec, including the Presbyterian values, so that we can have a better school. If you want to create more Category A schools, you can. That is why we made all the STEM schools Category A schools right off the bat. Every STEM school was made a Category A schools, and they started performing because we created an environment for them to perform. We have a STEM advisory board that's actually chaired by Professor Adutwum, and he was my senior STEM advisor. They are the ones who train the STEM school teachers, brought them, trained them, so that there are certain values they will begin to show.
So that means you also picked the school from nowhere and created as a Category A school,
yes.
STEM school. That's what Haruna is saying he wants to do. Make every school Category A school.
Then give them the resources that they need. So the thing is this, the point I'm making is that if we did not get MasterCard Foundation through TTEL to build STEM labs for the STEM schools, and you just call it Category A, it's not going to be.
Oh, I see the point.
The parents are going to reject it.
So you give them Category A infrastructure. Then you can call them Category A
yes,
schools.
and we gave them the labs, and the MasterCard Foundation came with funding to build STEM labs for the schools. So at the end of the day, if you want to create Category A school, we did a e-block at a flower.
Your supporters are sending me texts and say, get to the campaign, get to the campaign, hurry up, get to the campaign. So let me get to the campaign then. They're putting pressure on you. This is the story, Doc. Your greatest story also seems to be the story that your opponents are kindly using against you. Adutwum is education. Nobody is better than education. If you support the MPP wins, he has education. Why does Adutwum want to be president? He has so much to give to education. Education needs him like the lifeblood.
I mean, those who are saying that probably doesn't know why Singapore became Singapore.
That's
why China became China. Late 1980s, late 1970s, Deng Xiaoping, the then president, visited Japan, saw the Japanese transformation. He couldn't believe what he was seeing in Japan. Deng Xiaoping, the visionary leader, goes back to China, did not start building factories.
He didn't start building factories?
No.
What did he do?
They reviewed the curriculum of China.
For secondary school?
Yes.
Basic
school, all the way up. And certain truths were uncovered. First of all, they realized that China was teaching Japanese history in a very negative light. So in order for Chinese students to have a mindset change, they decided that they were no longer going to teach Japanese history in that negative light as oppressors, aggressors. They changed the curriculum of history to start with, which is very fascinating. I know you like talking about history and the mindset they can create for children. Then the next thing they did was they looked at the science and mathematics curriculum, and they realized that they were not learning enough science. And the goal was towards engineering. So what they decided to was start, they gave science became 54 months with fixes starting from junior high school all the way. Then they realized that Chinese teachers did not know how to teach mathematics well. So they sent teachers to Japan, to UK and US to learn how to teach mathematics. They brought them back. Then they set a goal to produce 50,000 engineers a year as a foundation for attracting foreign direct investment into manufacturing in China. A similar thing is happening in Vietnam. And what is happening in Vietnam is very fascinating. Now, major companies around the world are moving to Vietnam. Samsung has its largest manufacturing plant in Vietnam. Why? They produce 100,000 engineers a year. 90 million plus population, 100,000 engineers a year. Everybody wants to be there. Now you look at Ghana, and we do about 7,000 a year with 30 million plus population. So ratio and proportion, we should be doing about 33,000 a year. Consequently, if there's a company in the US that is going to do serious manufacturing, they are going to Vietnam. So you
we can attract them to Ghana if we show the profile.
The profile.
So education, you think, is still the foundation?
The foundation
for any economic development. Any
economic transformation in the 21st century has not been done sidestepping education. Singapore, same thing. South Korea,
that's why we need Osaya Adutwum to concentrate on education.
You have to make education become transformed to change the socioeconomic fortunes of your country. So the education should not be going to school, sending children to school. What they learn, how they become critical thinkers is so important. And to underscore that, you know, there's a professor at my alma mater, University of Southern California, Humberto. Humberto developed what has become known as the GDKP. And GDKP is a proposed metric that aims to measure economic value of knowledge production and use within a country. We have a GDP. But Humberto felt strongly that in the 21st century, in the knowledge economy, you're going to have to do gross domestic knowledge production. And the knowledge product is what is so critical. If your education system is good, you can project how your economy is going to behave. So the GDKP is a new measure that Professor Humberto came up with to complement GDP. Because if you're in a knowledge economy and you are not measuring the intangibles, you are not measuring the quality of education, you are not measuring how many engineers you are producing and the critical manpower that you are developing, you are not able to predict the growth in your economy. Mm-hmm. The moment Professor Humberto developed the India Toolkit and began to develop what they call their knowledge economy project. So India is now using the measure, the GDKP, in fashioning their country's transformation. When Parliament, a few months ago, when Modi, India's Prime Minister, came in and made a very interesting pronouncement that India is going to be a developed nation by 2047.
A fully developed nation.
Fully developed nation. Poverty will have been pushed to the curve. And it's because of the education program. Look at the IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies. Students who don't get accepted to IIT are the ones who go to Harvard and go to MIT in the US. Indians, 30% of the world's IT firms are being headed by Indians.
QuickBooks gives me the super
percent of global IT firms. India have done well in technology, and that has leapfrogged them in the development.
So the point of the matter is this: if you are looking for precedent in this fourth industrial revolution, you look for somebody who fully understands how nations are transformed in the 21st century, how nations are transformed in the fourth industrial revolution. And if that person is in the saddle and he has advisors surrounding him, he understands how to transform the country. He's able to tap into expertise of people who have done it. Look at India, their IT hubs. IT hubs across the countries attracting jobs from around the world, data entry jobs. You have, at this point, website development. Those are the basic ones. Content development. You have companies that are outsourcing software development to India. Indians are working in India and getting paid very well for companies in the US.
Okay, all that seems very fine. Now, what do you tell delegates? 1,200 and over 210,000 delegates are going to be assembled on January 31 to elect the MP